Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Panda Bennett, and I should be sleeping, but I just watched a super traumatic movie, so I'm going to film instead and decompress while I chat with you guys about tarot decks. I guess tarot and oracle decks, both. But yeah, that movie. We just watched a super traumatic movie. We love scary movies, my husband and I. Slasher movies, you know, supernatural movies, witchy movies. Like, that doesn't bother me, but just by chance, like, we hadn't seen any previews for those movies. It's always those kind of movies that sneak up on you. So we're just like, yeah, it's got some A-list actors, people that we've heard of before. Let's try it. And the movies that always get me are like the ones where like it's the end of the world and you have to save your entire family. And because then I'm thinking like, I have 3 kids now, like how would I run and carry all 3 kids and like get through the asteroids and get on the plane and get to the bunker. Anyways, it was just not what I was expecting the movie. We just like on a whim picked this movie and it ended up being like super real life traumatic, and like how other people end up being like more dangerous than the actual crisis, like because there's looting and they trample people in crisis situations and they rob people, and you know, you can get stabbed for food or water. And yeah, anyways, it was just kind of heavy for for bedtime. So lately in the groups I've seen a lot of people asking or talking about buying decks in different languages, and or being like, oh, I wish that I could use this deck. I have this beautiful deck, but it's in a different language and I don't speak that language. I don't read that language, this or that. So I just wanted to talk about it really quick because I buy decks in different languages all the time. I am a repeat offender of buying decks in languages that I don't speak. And it doesn't bother me. I really like it. And it's brought me a lot of really unique tarot and oracle decks both. And then I've got to meet people from all over the world that we have this connection through card slinging. So that's really cool. So I would definitely encourage you, if you see a deck that you connect with the images and you really like it and it really resonates with you, to go ahead and get that deck. So what I do, and if you have a smartphone, I know not everyone has a smartphone, but most smartphones, like for me, I buy these decks and then I just take a picture of it, and I have like an app that translates the whole page at a time. So I can just take a picture of the guidebook in whatever language it's in, because even though I took like 5 years of Spanish in high school, like I only know biblioteca and that's it. So I can just take a picture of it and then my app translates all of it. And sometimes you can tell that like it didn't translate right, and you'll kind of have to go through like maybe one single sentence and retranslate and piece it together. But my decks in other languages, because I have to sit down and do just a little bit more extensive work with the guidebook, I actually know those decks better and am more familiar and read smoother and more accurately with those decks because of that connection. So I really like that, and I encourage you. So just because you don't speak the language the deck's in, that you could still get that deck. And so all of us know, I mean, you know your suits and you know your majors and that kind of stuff. So on the cards, if the titles are in a different language, I mean, that doesn't really bother you, doesn't bother me at least, because I know what they are. But yeah, as far as translating guidebooks, there's really great apps out there. Both on the computer, like if you scan them in, or if you have a smartphone that you can just take a picture and it'll translate pages worth into to or from whichever language you would like. I mean, you can pick the different settings. So yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys 3 decks that I didn't wait for them to come out in English, and just talk about why I did that. And also, I'm just avoiding going to bed and laying in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying that super traumatic movie. So the first deck that I got is the Messengers of Egypt. I just knocked a bunch of stuff off. The Messengers of Egypt. So first of all, I think this deck is so gorgeous, and I never see anybody with this deck or using this deck, at least not in the different groups that I'm in and stuff. The creator has an art page on Instagram, and I will put all the links down below so you can follow it as well. But the artwork is amazing. First of all, this is one of the sturdiest boxes. I feel like this box is put together better than our house is. So it's like a big, sturdy, hard box, got a magnetic clip, and then it comes with this big full-size guidebook. And it's got color. It's all color. It's so beautiful. Hopefully you can see. I can tell it's kind of reflecting. I'm sorry. So full page color guidebook, but then also you've got notes. So like right in here, I could do my translation and my keywords and that kind of stuff, which is super nice. Yeah, gorgeous. And then you guys know me, and I don't keep, like, I keep the boxes, but I store them because I don't keep my decks in the boxes. But this is a really nice box. So the hard outer box, full-size color guidebook, and then a smaller two-part box that has the thumb holes and has the ribbon in it to get the cards out, so you're not like digging down in or like having to dump it upside down. Yeah, so super well put together for the Messengers of Egypt. And we'll flip the camera around and I'll just show you a few cards out of each of these decks. The other one that I got is the Dragon Wisdom, and I didn't wait for the English version. This is by Christine Fader. I didn't wait for the English version to come out. This is in German. So just a little guidebook. Black and white, got a small picture of the cards. These are the card backs. And then the third deck is the Luminash Tarot, Luminash. I'm not quite sure. The Luminash Tarot by the House of Ash. And this one is not in English either. So the Dragon Wisdom is already out in English. You can get it off Amazon. I'll put the link down below. The Luminash, they are talking about doing an English version probably like maybe in the next year, I think. And then also I've seen whispers or heard whispers about the Messengers of Egypt also having an English version. But yeah, so I went ahead and picked these decks up. Yeah, let me flip the camera around and then I'll keep talking so this video isn't super long. So I switched filming spaces as I showed you guys like in the tarot room tour. And now that I'm over here, I have like different equipment and I can't really get figured out how to film this like straight down. Like what different, I need a different like tripod so that like the legs, so you don't like have to look at this. And then I don't usually use a reading mat, or I never ever use a reading mat, but this desk is so reflective. The black desk really catches the light, and then the cards, if they're slick at all, they really slide around. So yeah, so I'm definitely working on that situation and improving that filming process. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me and being patient. Okay, so the first deck that I wanted to talk about is the Luminash Tarot. Again, there was whispers of this coming out with an English version, but I didn't want to wait, and this is a majors deck. So I didn't feel like I needed it in English, and I absolutely love the color palette. I love the way the cards feel. And then sometimes they change things, like when they do another edition or they do another run of decks in a different language, sometimes they change things. So I went ahead and bought this deck from the House of Ash, and I will also put the link, all the links for the decks and social media down below so you can follow the artists and the creators. But yeah, I really liked how inclusive this deck was. I liked the weird art, like the different art style and all the bright colors. I really like it. A lot of brown people. I love this card. I think it's beautiful. That sun is gorgeous too. But yeah, I just definitely felt like this deck is what I needed, like these bright colors to get through the South Dakota winter. And I didn't want to wait in case they don't do an English version, and then I wouldn't be able to get my hands on this one either if it went out of print. The next deck is the Dragon Wisdom, or mine is the Drachen Weisheit by Christine Fader. This is now on Amazon. I'll put a link down below where you can get the English version. This is what the guidebook looks like. And now after working with the deck, I can read the cards. I know what they are just from studying it and doing the translations. And I think if you're going to sit down and learn any new deck, you know, maybe not necessarily like if you're a Rider-Waite-Smith reader and you sit down with a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, you know, you're good to go there. But with any other deck or any other, you know, interpretations or art styles or oracle decks, if you're going to sit down and learn the deck anyways, it's no big deal to translate it really quick and just get to know the deck on an even deeper level. So, yeah, so this is the Dragon Wisdom. And so the reason that I didn't wait for this to come out in English is because from what I could see, the English version, they were changing the card backs. And I love these card backs. Like I love, it's one of the dragons, his eye, and then like the universe around it. And I absolutely love those. And they were just making some small changes. I think the English version, and I may be wrong, I'll look it up, but I think maybe the English version has some gilding where this one doesn't. But yeah, they changed the card backs, and now it's like something that makes it kind of like reversible, like it's two dragons, I think. But I was just so drawn to the original version because of the card back. So I did not wait for the English version to come out. And I just went ahead and picked up this copy and translated it, and now I read with it all the time. But the English version did come out, I think a couple months ago now. Yeah, so here's the card that's part of the card backs that I like so much. Okay. And the last deck then is the Messengers of Egypt Oracle. The artist name, I'm going to butcher that, so I'm not going to try. But I'll put their link down below. And again, there's talk of doing this deck in an English version, but I didn't want to risk it because I was so drawn to the artwork. The guidebook is absolutely wonderful. And then also gives you a place for journaling, and so this will be perfect for me to do all my translations and get to know me, jotting down my notes, that kind of stuff with the deck. Okay, so these are our card backs. They are absolutely beautiful. They are closer to traditional tarot size rather than, you know, being a larger oracle deck, which I don't mind. They aren't gilded, but the cardstock is absolutely wonderful. Great quality of cardstock. And I am just absolutely in love with the artwork. I just look at these colorings. I find them so beautiful. From the moment that I saw this deck, and I don't remember, I was somewhere in the depths of the internet and caught a glimpse of this and then chased it down through somebody's board on Pinterest, finally found the website. Yeah, and because at first I wasn't even sure if it was an actual deck or if it was just the artwork. Look at this. Isis, so beautiful. Yeah, I was just really drawn to it, and it's kind of my thing to chase down decks. I kind of like the little adventure and, yeah, the thrill of the hunt, so to speak, when I'm chasing a deck. And so when I chased this down and then I got to like the artist's page and the website, and there was talk, like people were asking if they were going to do a deck, like an English version, and there is talk of that happening. But again, I didn't want to risk it. And I know I have many decks in different languages, especially my vintage decks. Yeah, so I knew it would be no problem to translate it. And so I just went ahead. Beautiful. The colors in this are just outstanding. Great quality of deck. The box is, like I said, probably better put together than my house, with a beautiful full-size guidebook. This deck is definitely worth the few extra minutes to translate. So yeah, if you're a deck collector, if you're a card reader, yeah, don't be afraid of buying decks in other languages. And if you ever need help translating anything or finding apps to translate or anything like that, or chasing down decks, yeah, just get a hold of me because that's totally my jam. I can help you out with that. But yeah, so I'm going to finish my cup of tea and hopefully go to bed and not have nightmares about that creepy movie. And I will see you guys back for another video. Bye!